Hey, so I'm back to do another video in our series of ukulele beginning to learn, and today we're going to do a very cute Hawaiian song. So because the ukulele, I think it was originally from Portugal, and then it went to Hawaii and it sort of became known in Hawaii, and that's a beautiful thing in terms of the lovely sound when you have the high G. Gives it a certain sound. So in this song, which is called Pearly Shells, and if you don't know it, there's lots of videos online how it goes, and then you'll hear me singing it, but at a slower tempo, and the chart is going to be in the description box. It's a little bit messy because I use these for my classes and then I mark them up over time, and I sort of changed to show just a very brief intro using, we're in the key of C, so check the chord at the end of the chart to verify that. 99% of the time that's going to be your key. So again, we're continuing in the key of C, and we have our basic chords 1, so C, 4, C, D, E, F, and 5, G7, nice and easy. We do have a C7 chord, but again, if you can't get there and still get to the chord after that, F, then just stay on C, and then your goal would be just to get to the F chord, eventually adding in the C7. So there's a bunch of things going on that I wanted to talk about in this song, although it's quite brief. The song itself is, I've got an intro, I've also got PU on 3, which is representing that thing we've been talking a little bit about, pickup note. So that's the term that's used for when the melody doesn't start on the beat of 1. So a good example of a song that does start on the beat of 1 is Lion Song. So you're just strumming away 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the jungle is landing on the beat of 1. So that's easy. And we often, well, it's not often, well, it's to be musically accurate, but also when people are singing together, if everybody understands what beat the melody comes in on, everybody comes in together because they understand that. So along the top, you've got 2 bars of C and then just 2. So it goes 1, 2, and then 3 is when you start to sing the word pearly. That's beats 3 and 4. Okay, and then shells. Now, the way this song is supposed to be done is what's called call and response. So it's basically in the bracketed areas. That is Hawaiian. So I will be singing that in a bad Hawaiian made up. So apologies about that. But I just like doing that. But you can actually just echo that pearly shells, pearly shells. When you have other people singing along, it's quite a fun thing to learn to do, is some people do the first one and then other people do the second one. So you would just do it in English, pearly shells, and you're just mimicking the notes of the original. So you're just per, da, 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 and then the echo is da, da, da. So there's a lot going on, but then eventually it becomes really simple. You've got a verse right in the middle and then the choruses, so it's different in its arrangement. You have a D7, so that's introducing the D7 chord. Now there's a couple of ways to play the D7 chord. It doesn't occur, and you'll see I've circled it because I was trying to remind people that when you get a chart of any kind, scan it over and see what's going to come at you that's going to be a bit unexpected. So in this case, it might be the D7 chord. It's occurring only one time, so give us a chance to get to it. You can play D7 in 2 ways, and I'm going to do our little vocal thing in a minute. So we're going to just come across as we usually do and form the chord. D7 can be done with a barred finger, and we'll learn more about barring. But when you see it written different ways, that's why, because there's a couple ways to play it. I don't want to just say there's 2, but for right now. But the other way to play it that's simpler, and I like the sound of better in a lot of ways, is you take your first finger, you climb up to the 1, 2, 3, 4th string, 2nd fret, and then the second finger goes into the same fret space but on the 2nd string. So it sounds like this. Lovely, right? So this song has quite a few 7ths. And the thing about 7ths is that in music, it's precise, but then also imprecise. So when they say 7, that means that they've added the 7th tone to the basic chord. So let's look into that. Normally when we do C, we're playing this. So we've got a G, a C, an E, and then we've changed this A in a very precise way to another C. When we do C7, and this is true of all the 7th chords, is that you're playing this note here. So I think it's important for people to understand why they're doing what they're doing, not just memorizing, is that you're actually playing a B flat note there, also called A sharp. So this is A and this is A sharp, but also known as B flat. So if you think about C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that's the 7th from C. And if this is C. So then you've got a B, but actually it's a minor 7th because in the chord, the C major chord, there are no sharps and flats. So it should be written C with an M7, but for the sake of brevity, they just put it as a 7. And that's a C7, and that's why that is. And it's the same with G7, but we're not going to go into that. I'll explain that in a different song, just so that we get this done. At the very bottom, there's a bunch of information that most people, when they're first doing the song, can't read because it's just too much. So let's have a look at it now. At the bottom it says repeat last line 3 times. So you just do that. And then on the last time it says retard underlined section. So retard is the musical word for slowing down. So we're going to do that. That creates a feeling of ending the song. And then it's got tremolo last time only. So a tremolo is very cool ukulele thing that people can learn to do. So basically what you're doing is rather than digging in with a strum, let's put the C chord on because that's what we're doing, is you're brushing more lightly up and down. So again, loose wrist, and then you're just, and sort of a flourish to end the song, which is interesting musically. So we do a bunch of those things. All right, so that's kind of going over that. Again, we've got C, F, G, and G7. You can play, actually, I think I eliminated the G, so pardon me. Yeah, no, I whited that out so people only had to do the G7 chord, because that way it's a bit easier for people to do this song as a beginner. And you feel better when you can actually accomplish more things as a beginner. What else is there? Well, let's do our setting up of ourselves. So here we are, we've got this under here. We know our strings are given note, they are note names, and we're in tune. We've tuned up, right? We're making sure that we're holding it across the body. If you can't see the strings well, tilt it up. Sit up and be relaxed as much as you can, but firmly holding everything in place. So I'm holding this here rather than using my strap, because what I find is that if you use the strap, sometimes this hand will be doing too much effort because this hand is doing nothing. It's just hanging down there. So I teach people to start off with that, and then as you learn to balance the instrument more effectively and want to learn to do picking and etc., you might want to put the strap on. And if you can get a good tone, you don't feel that that's going to be an issue, you know, by all means do what works for you. Okay, so we're going to keep this here for now, and remember our left fretting hand. We've got the instrument, if it swings out, we're bringing it back gently there. Our arm is thumb in back, pressed against the neck, hand extended. Just give those fingers a wiggle, stretch through here nice and extended. Then form the C chord, and you see that the thumb and fingers are working together. Put an F chord, and again you can see how they work together with thumb to build strength. So again, my hand's not resting on the neck here because that doesn't develop my hand to be strong, which I want to be able to do when I start to do bar chords like B flat, which can be a challenging one, and then moving up the neck to play a variety of different voicings of chords. So that's not anything you need to concern yourself with right now. Just try and make the F shape and the G and the other shapes with that thumb and back working together. Okay, so we've got that sorted out. We're nice and relaxed and square. And I was going to say, if you sit in front of a mirror, you can often see things that you wouldn't be able to feel, right? Because sometimes we get so used to like having one shoulder extended. So you can sit in front of a mirror and set yourself up and do that. So strumming hand, again, we're pulling in with the forearm, and we're going to loose. We play here for more resonance of our little instrument rather than back here like guitarists. So let's just get that wrist going and go through the chords in the song in order. So we're going to do as written. We'll do C for 2 bars. Now F for 2. G7 for 2. Then it goes back to C. Now this is not how they go in the song, but just to get a warm up. Then C7 if you want. 2, 3. And you climb up to the top first for the F, and then move the other one up. Just just 2 bars of each. C, now G7 for 2. Okay, so the only one we haven't done that comes in the verse is that D7. So let's just get that from the chord that you would be coming from in order to get to it. So in the song, I've got more left over. So you're on a G7. Now, how am I going to get to that, from that to that D7? Well, I'm going to come up here, and then I'm going to let those other ones go. Twinkle in the blue. It says 1 down strum, so we'll do that as we go through. All right, from the beginning, vocal warm-up, sorry, C, in tune C note, open C. And of course you can do these longer. I'm just going to demonstrate again. Up to your ear if you need it. Remember, it's not just for vocal, it's to train your ear to listen. And so often in music what we need is we need that really attentive ear. Ear training. Okay, open E. La, big breath in, and try and vary your volume, do various things. Now we're going to go up to the G because we're going up in pitch. La. If I had the low G, I would be la, and then I would alternate la, la, la. I shouldn't make faces because you shouldn't change any of that. Okay, and then our open A. Okay, so like I say, spend more time on that. You can fret anywhere and try and just, you don't need to know the name of the note. Just try and pluck it and sing it, mimic it. Okay, here we go. 2 bars of C. Again, simple strum. I think I would do a shuffle on this eventually, a shuffle strum. But I would just do a down strum right now because I'm sight reading. So 1, well, I'm not, but you guys are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, pearly shells. A-o-e-wa from the ocean, naka-naka, shining in the sun. I-e-ke, covering the shore. O-ke-ana, when I see them. U-kwa-lana, my heart tells me that I love you more than all those little pearly shells. For every grain of sand upon the beach, I've got a kiss for you, and I've got more left over for each star. Here we go. That twinkles in the blue. Pearly shells, ah-oh-ee-wa, from the ocean, naka-naka, shining in the sun. I-ke, covering the shore. O-ke-ana, when I see them. U-kwa-lana, my heart tells me that I love you more than all those little pearly shells. Now repeat that line twice. More than all those little pearly shells. This is our last time, so we're going to slow down. More than all those little pearly shells. 2, 3, 4, and then I tremolo. Right, so that was at tempo, meaning that it's pretty much how the song would be sung in the, in the performed version of it, but a learning tempo, right? So let's do it at a learning tempo, very slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Pearly shells, ah-oh-ee-wa, from the ocean, naka-naka, shining in the sun. Hovering upon the beach. I've got a kiss for you, and I've got more left over for each star. Here we go, D7. Twinkles in the blue, pearly shells, Iwa, from the ocean, naka naka, shining in the sun. Now I'm going to do a shuffle strum. Covering the shore, down, up, down, up, down, up. When I see them, ukulele, my heart tells me that I love you more than I'll do before them. Now repeat that 2 more times. More than all those little pearly shells. This is going to be our last time on that line. More than all those little pearly shells. You could tremolo here, but I always do 4 and then I tremolo. Okay, so hopefully you enjoy that little Hawaiian song. It's one of the favorites, and people really grow to have fun with that back and forth part, and it's not overly complicated. It introduces you very briefly to the D7 because I'm going to do 5'2". It's got a lot of 7th chords in it, so I wanted you to start to understand 7th chords a little bit and form one of them, but not, not too much, just a little bit in that song. Okay, if you've enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate my subscribers, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get some content that you find useful. And you can perhaps get in groups with your friends. That is my sort of goal, is if you have other people that you can have in a group to play, it's a lot of fun, and you can just really be in touch with your heart and soul on that, and yeah, really enjoy this aspect of being able to play a musical instrument. Okay, thanks very much. Have a good one.